Welcome to Airplay Escape. Unlock the full audiobook experience and exclusive perks by joining our Patreon community. Dive deeper into the stories you love. Just click the link in the description below, and thank you for supporting this journey. Hokage, Naruto's Dark Side Unleashed by Blackened Personality, Episode 51, Naruto Office. Looking at the crystal ball, the golden red day that destroyed the entire base, the ape flying sun and Tuanzang all fell into death. After half a while, the ape flying sun was spit out of a turbid air. Tail Beast Jade. The S-Class Ninjutsu monograph, which is dedicated to the Tail Beast, is also the strongest killing trick of the Perfect Man's Pillar Force. The Vortex Wind is deficient, he grew too fast. If it hadn't been verified many times, the ape flying sun would definitely treat the people in front of him as a nine tails of the trap. He has also seen Perfect Pillar Chili, but without the wind in front of him, he threw a move that was destroyed in the light and lightly described. The Tuanzang on the side was gloomy, and his heart was dripping. His 1/3 of his subordinates and property are gone now. There are also younger ninjas who have the most talented and most cultivated men, Sakai. It is now caught by the wind deficiency like an animal. Fortunately, the dark parts directly under the Naruto of the apes were also arrested. It should be that Fengxu saw who was behind this, so I must have watched it when I wait for a while. Although I knew there would be good plays, the anger of Tuanzang was still unable to suppress it. Angry crushed the corner of the desk, staring at the ape flying sun. Is this the result you want? For special and elite, and the backbone of more than 200 backbone, and countless innocent ninja. Under your 3 generations of Naruto's means, you died in your own hands. Is this the will of your fire? The more he said, the more angry, the more heartache. For the pillar power, you must make a punishment and compensation for me. Otherwise, I don't mind using this thing. The joint consultants impeach you together. Anyway, he had ended his death with Fengxu. It is better to destroy the relationship between the pillar and the ape flying sun. Forced ape flying sun to punish them, causing the two to have a gap. What's more, this person who can master the strength of the nine-tailed power seems to be very dissatisfied with the ape flying sun. Looking at the anger in front of him, the ape flying sun was equally angry. To be honest, he also wants to let Fengxu save people while killing some roots. Just fight and shock. I just didn't expect Fengxu to be mad, and directly killed all the personnel in the base. It even completely destroyed this base, not even one of the ants. And this time Naruto did not come out to stop it, which also annoyed the ape flying sun. Obviously he instilled so many fires for Naruto, and the thought of the village greater than heaven. Could Naruto actually let Fengxu kill so many ninjas in the village? Even he sent the direct dark parts of the direct affiliated by several people, and he was abolished with both hands like pigs, dogs, and beasts. After that, I will restore your Naruto auxiliary positions, and at the same time, it will also resume the funding to the root. And the young ministry you survived, I will also let him go. After speaking, the apes glanced at the Tuanzang coldly. Then I asked in a tone that seemed to ask for discussions, but in fact, I couldn't tolerate it. Are these compensation enough? Of course not enough. Tuanzang hummed quite dissatisfied. It is for you to cultivate such a cruel person who has no sense of recognition of the village. So I also ask you to transfer it to our roots and conduct secondary education to prevent irreversible harm to the village. After watching the performance of the wind deficiency, the Tuanzang was even more reluctant to have the powerful power of Jiawei. If you can rely on this excuse to get the person's pillar power, use the ability of that eye. In the case of Tuanzang, he looked at him with suspiciously. Now this kind of strength is not lower than your pillar power. Do you actually control your control? The Tuanzang side sneered, and naturally won't be stupid. This doesn't need you to worry about it. My roots will naturally do better than your hypocritical Naruto, and it will not make people exceed control. Listening to Tuanzang's determination, the apes frowned again. Could it be that Tuanzang experimented with the first generation of cells to make a wooden ninja? Or is it that the writing of the writing eye of Tuanzang has reached the level of controlling the tail beast? Find someone to check again. Thinking of this, Ape Fei re-slapped the proposal of Tuanzang. I have my own arrangements. I don't need your roots to intervene. As soon as the apes were finished, there was a sound of wind. Arrange to me? Can you please tell me 3 generations of Naruto? Wow. Pulling a group of ninjas, Fengxu smiled and pushed the door into the office. It was just his smile on his face, and he smiled and smiled, without any respect in the words. Yo, the old dog, you are there. No wonder you haven't caught you in your old nest. Turning his head and seeing the dark face as the bottom of the pot, he opened his mouth in surprise. How is it recently? Are you still red behind your butt? Mix the book, you shut me up. 2 words of Fengxu's entrance to the door instantly made the group hiding the defense. Even if the old dog was scolded, there were more people scolding him anyway. But the foot of Fengxu 2 weeks ago, and the red printed on the buttocks, was a shame that could not be forgotten. This also caused him not to dare to go out for a week, and he didn't even see even the subordinates of the root. After forcibly pressed the anger, Tuanzang glanced at the ape flying sun, and said coldly, attack high-level leaders, kill colleagues abducted in the same village, and destroy village base facilities. Vortex Fengxu, don't you give an explanation? Otherwise, our Naruto will clean up the portal. Explanation? Fengxu smiled and didn't care. The roots secretly colluded out of escape, assassinating the pillar force of the nine-tailed people, and abducted the nine-tailed person's partner, trying to reproduce the nine-tailed chaos 13 years ago. Do you think this explanation is okay? What are you saying? Tuanzong was so angry that he didn't get angry. The ability to buckle the black pot is more outrageous than the ape-flying sun. Also, how did Fengxu know that he colluded with -1? You have a less time to plant and marry, and my root has always been ashamed I haven't done these things at all. The wind deficiency ignored the group hiding like a thunder, but turned to look at the ape-flying sun. What is the truth about Naruto? You can't always be the dark part of Naruto. I abducted my partner to marry the old dog? Ape-face Sun chopped deeply at the wind, and then said, you are right, there is indeed a problem with the root, but these have nothing to do with the Tibetan. All the traitors have appeared in the base. You fart, I have no traitors at all. Seeing that the two said in a few words, they settled this time, and the Tuanzang was shocked and angry. Holding him, he lost money, and had to carry a large pot under the enemy. Moreover, the ninja at the root of his roots has the restrictions of the seal of tongue. If the subordinates are traitors, wouldn't he be a traitor's head? Old dog, do you have an opinion? Fengxu looked at Tuanzang's violent smile. I said, my roots. Tuanzang's words have not been said yet. Seeing the wind wrapped by Jinhong chakra suddenly appeared in front of him and slapped it. Snapped. The applause sounded at the same time. 2 blood molars flew out of the unbelievable group hiding. Episode 52. Mix the account, you. The speed of the wind is extremely fast. It was not until after the fight, and the mountain storm behind him reacted to the ninja behind him. Protect the adult. Alas, the 2 people in the mountains quickly blocked in front of the bleeding in the mouth. How? I teach the dog. Are you still not convinced? Seeing the Tuanzang retracted behind his men, his face stared at him with a shade. Fengxian's eyes narrowed slightly, and the legs were raised and kicked out. Alas, alas, alas. Film-grade body surgery plus the 9-tailed chakra mode, the 3 could not see the actions of Qing Feng. All were kicked and flew out and hit the wall of the office. Well, don't do it. The group fell to the ground into a shrimp and vomited blood, holding down the subordinates who wanted to do it. Later, Chong endured the pain from his abdomen and got up from the ground. Wiring vortex wind, don't be too much. Here is the Naruto office of the Naruto building, you can't allow you to sprinkle. After speaking, I saw that the ape-flying sun hadn't supported him for a long time, and Tuanzang turned his grievance and asked, Daily cut, you say something. After hearing the call of the Tuanzang, the ape-flying day cut back from contemplation. Just now Fengxu said that the words of Tuanzang colluded -1, let the ape-flying day cut down for a moment, clearly figured out a lot of mysteries on Tuanzang's body. For example, the harmony of the wooden, such as the research of the wheel eye, and so on. If these scientific research geniuses of -1, then everything can be said. There are also the Sidic test just mentioned by Tuanzang. The ape-flying sun has a hunch, which must be waiting for him. However, these are all the dark fights with Tuanzang afterwards. Now it is mainly to solve the wind in front of him. Ape Fei took a nap, looking at the embarrassed group, and finally said, Stop it, the wind is virtual, and the farce is here. Grandpa will help you recover justice afterwards. Speaking, Ape Fury was also revealed, and the elders forgive the kindness of their juniors for making mistakes. I will not investigate if you are a traitor and destroyed base facilities that you kill your partners and kill them without permission. But these dark ninjas are not traitors, they are the people who sent you to protect you. So let's put it all. There is also the remaining traitor. Just give him to Tibetan disposal. After listening to the disposal of the ape-flying sun, the group on the side was stunned. Drive, are you always confused? He beaten in public and abusing high-level leaders. You told me that this is a farce? The apes were cut off and nodded directly. The inadvertent move under anger, there is no need to blame it. Can you get a lot of age? Can't you live with a 12 or 3-year-old child? You. Tuanzang's original blood that was pressed by the original book overflowed from the corner of his mouth. Obviously, it was missed by this remark. After a long while, the anger was repeated, and his face yelled, I recognize it, let the people go, I'll go now. Watching this scene like a drama, Fengxu couldn't help laughing. Ape flying the sun, who do you say who you are? Let me go, I am still your grandpa. Fengxu is too lazy to continue installing, and these 2 old dogs. He brought these dark ninjas in order to fight the face of apes. How can I do it with him and use him? The expression of the apes was stagnant, and his face became as iron as the Tuanzang. Don't be nonsense anymore. Hurry up, I don't want to repeat the second time. Grandpa Studes did not claim to be herself, and the words in the words were the tone of the command. The old dog with a bluff, the same garbage color as the Tuanzang. With the current strength of the wind deficiency, naturally there is no need to cut the virtuality with the apes and the snake. Of course, how did you scold? Anyway, he couldn't help him. The Tuanzang on the side was also shocked by a sudden change, and then ridiculed and mocked. Oh, moving the stone to smash your feet, it is better to give it to me at the beginning. You shut up. Ape Fury turned his head and roared. Then he looked at Fengxu again, his brows frowned into a Sichuan character, and his expression never had. I finally asked you as a grandfather, don't you let it go? After hearing the words, the wind deficient smile closed, and calmly looked at the ape flying day. He knew that if he didn't let it go, he would definitely tear his face completely and call Naruto to press himself. But what about that? Since he dares to bring someone to the disgusting apes, he will not fail. Your pseudo-faced face is really disgusting. Obviously I scold you like this. Fengxu shook his head, with contempt and malice on his face. But it doesn't matter, since you want to let me put it, then I will let it go. I just hope that your old dog should not regret it. During the talk, the wind was drawn with a big hand. The Jinhong Chakra's fine rope flew out of the hands of the ninjas in an instant. The ape flying sun also felt that it was not good, and he shouted in a command tone. Naruto, give me a body. However, he shouted late. Fengxu's nine-tailed chakra in the human body has erupted. Behind the dark ninjas behind them also sent out a stern misery. Ah, fire. There is a fire burning me. It hurts. The body is going to explode. Master Naruto, kill him. Revenge us. After the chakra's fine rope on these dark ninjas disappeared, it seemed to open some kind of switch. The scarlet nine-tailed chakra, like a ghost fire, overflowed from the pores on them. In the 7 tricks under the white mask, a lot of blood poured out, and the white mask in the immersed was brought with a layer of red. Although the ape-flying sun was late, the Fengxu side responded. A huge sucking power appeared in the body, making him occupy the body's consciousness instantly. However, the wind deficiency is also very fast. Mobilized a trace of Ashura Chakra from the system before, struggling to delay time. Give you back soon, don't call it. During the talk, the wind deficiency only had half a face still contempt and malicious. The other half of his face was full of panic and regret, and at the same time, it was accompanied by Naruto's scream. Wind, you lie to me. You said that as long as I don't interfere with your lesson, you will let go of these innocent dark parts. Episode 53. I'm talking about innocent dark ninja. It's not these kidnapping Sasuke Sakura, which is used to use my old dog's minions. The wind is cold and coldly looking at the ape fly to the sun. Tuanzang ignored the words of the wind. Instead, while the wind and Naruto stalemate, the 2 guards behind him rescued Sakai. It was just that when the 2 touched Sakai, who was almost familiar with the whole body, they were burned by the hot burns. The Hyuga ninja also quickly turned on the white eyes, and then shook his head in the Tuanzang unsightly. Adult, the irritable 9-tailed chakra has completely eroded every meridian of Sakai's body. We can't control this chakra at all unless the ninja didn't finish speaking. He just glanced at the wind with a look at his face. Obviously, only when Fengxu takes back 9-tailed chakra can you save the lives of these people. On the other side, the ape flying day cut, and he heard the conclusion given by the ninja. He did not respond to the words of wind, but urged Naruto. Naruto, hurry up and grab your body back. Don't let these ninjas who protect you be killed innocently because of you. Think of their family and children, but they will resent you because of this, just like the villagers who have hurt the 9 tails. The place where the wood leaves are flying, the fire is endless, and Naruto will only sacrifice themselves for the village, not to sacrifice the village for yourself. If the apes are furious, the Naruto in the consciousness is even more intense. Originally, Fengxu relied on this Ashura Chakra, which can delay almost 6 or 7 seconds. But now it is only 5 seconds, and his consciousness has begun to fall, and most of them have shrunk back to his body. However, looking at the dark parts with less air intake on the ground, his purpose has been achieved. Then he no longer resisted and gave his body to the eager Naruto. At the same time as the wind deficiency returned to the body, the 9-tailed chakra of the outside riot also disappeared. The first time Naruto was recaptured, he shouted at the ape-flying sun. The wind is supposed to be pressed back, and the 3 generations of grandfather are about to save people. Seeing that Naruto had controlled his body again, the apes were relieved. Then he waved towards the dark ninja waiting for him. Go to bring the medical class over for emergency treatment. Yes. Several dark figures flickered and quickly left the Naruto office. On Tuanzang, the mountain stroke under his hand will medical ninjutsu. Seeing Jyoti chakra disappeared, the mountain stroke hurried forward to use palm xianshu. It was just that chakra on the palm of his hand was close to Sakai's body. Sakai now had a slightly undulating chest pain and stopped. The pupils in their eyes have no focal length together, and they become scattered. Not only Sakai, the piles of dark ninjas lying on his side were the same. After 9-tailed chakra disappeared, he welcomed death. The stroke, which was not able to cure, returned to Tuanzang with shame, lowered his head and lowered. The subordinates were 1 step slower, which caused Sakai to die too seriously, and asked adults to punish it. It's not about your business. Tuanzang wiped the blood that had been dry slightly. Then he turned his head to look at Naruto, who regretted accusations, and finally locked his gaze on the ape-flying sun. Ape flying, and the life of so many villages is killed. Are you finally satisfied with this time? Inexplicably lost the base and a large number of subordinates. Tuanzang naturally concentrated all the resentment on the culprit of the ape-flying sun. Therefore, he didn't even call his name this time, and the last name was called. At the latest tomorrow, I will see your appropriation, otherwise you just wait for me to be in co-consultant and the name of the big name. After speaking, I didn't wait to answer, and Tuanzang walked out of the office with the 2 people behind him. Several people in Tuanzang just left, and the medical class was notified by the dark department outside. They rushed over. The treatment process is fast, because all dead people do not need to be treated. Naruto also regrets his own blame to the limit. Unfortunately, his conscious question did not get a response at all. Looking at the calm face, there was no ape flying day cut. Naruto bit his teeth and kneeled to the ground, his forehead stuck to the ground. Grandpa, 3 generations, I'm sorry, I am willing to be punished by the wind. I can accept any punishment. Hearing Naruto's words, Ape Flying Sun's gloomy face finally looked a little better. He is him, you are you. Don't have to be punished, and you should not be affected by him. You must implement your own forbearance. Just for a long time, Naruto came out for a long time, which caused a lot of concerns to cut the apes. Fear Naruto listened to the words of Fengxu, so the deliberate delay did not come out in time. But with the current action and expression of Naruto, it should not be like that. Still the silly child who was tuned by himself before. Then he continued to ask, why did you have the body for so long? I remember before, you recaptured your body in an instant. Naruto himself felt the problem of Ape Flying Sun, and he had guessing. The 3 generations of Grandpa should be because the gap between me and the strength of Fengxu and I is too large. Since the wind deficiency has the 9-tail chakra, I feel that he can also control his body at any time. But the initiative is still in my hands. But if the wind is unwilling to return the body, you can resist slightly, and you can no longer be completely unable to resist. Naruto has become stronger now. And the reason is the control of the body that has become stronger at all times. And because of lack of strength, he also produced a lot of dangerous ideas that made Fengxu replace him for life. After hearing the words, the apes frowned. Can't you master a tail yet? Naruto lowered his head ashamed. I don't feel chakra at 9-tailed, and the wind is not willing to teach me. Because of the seal of the 5 elements, Naruto now has no way to use 9-tail chakra. Is this really the descendants of the Watergate? It's a waste. Compared with the genius of Fengxu, the apes could not help but scold in his heart. At the same time, I made up their minds, and then sent more people to find themselves, and let him teach Naruto. Don't worry, Naruto, Grandpa will help you find another better teacher and let him teach you to use the power of 9-tail. You can work hard with asthma first now, and lay the foundation. Hearing the consolation of Ape Flying Sun, Naruto, unknown Naruto, touched tears all over the eyes. Thank you for the 3rd generation of Grandpa. I will not live up to your expectations, and I will definitely become Naruto in the future. Just when Grandpa Sunshao was outside, the wind deficiency in consciousness looked at the system panel. Black value plus 3000. Current blackening value, 3000. Master trust dependence value, 42%. Not to be dropped, 42%. Episode 54. The incident of saving Sasuke and Sakura this time once again harvested the long-lost blackening value. As for the trust dependence value, although the dark part of the Naruto is directly killed, and the Ape Flying Sun is cut to the minimum. However, it was not possible to drop by 2% because it saved people. This is too much better than the previously dropped value. Of course, the greatest harvest of this time is naturally a sigh of evil. After all, most of the painful memories from Naruto are caused by these 2 insidious old things. It can be said that in addition to some ninjas in the wood leaf, and very individual villagers such as individual hands, others are all in the revenge plan after the wind deficiency. Time is fleeting. It took almost 2 months in the past. In these 2 months, Tuanzang hid honestly without any moth. The 7th class and the 10th class were due to Naruto, which ushered in very harsh all-day practice. During this period, there were many C-level tasks and AB-level tasks. In the end, Naruto successfully mastered the C-class ninjutsu's breakthrough, and the B-level ninjutsu style was Vacant Jade. Coupled with the multi-enlargement of A-class, it can also be regarded as the level of eloquent tolerance. Compared to the rapid Naruto, Sasuke's progress is also very great. In 2 months, he learned Kakashi's A-level thunder and thousands of birds. And the riding of the wheel I is also successfully promoted to 2-hook Jade in the B-level mission. The last Sakura also relied on I seem to catch up with them, and successfully mastered medical ninjutsu and illusion. The speed of this genius, letting the practical and comparison of Jinya be shouted. As for the self-founding of the Step Flying Sun, Naruto still needs to be tempered as an excuse, and he did not immediately come back to teach Naruto. In consciousness, Fengxu opened the system panel. Current blackening value, 10,000. Master trust dependence, 60%, 45% cannot be dropped. Master ninjutsu, Yang Jiwei, multi-shadow skills, shadow gravity, flying thunder skills, plants and winds, wind ninjutsu, etc. Because the task did not encounter the overwhelming trouble, the villagers' abuse Naruto was gradually immune. So 2 months have gained a blackened value of 7,000. The blackened value has not moved, because he still remembers Kai's physical technique and 8 gates. Calculated according to time, the United China test should be recently. After all, the Red Star village he controlled was sent here yesterday to come here to prepare to participate. And he can also meet, and after finishing the task, he returned to the village to take the exam's 3rd class and Kai. As for the trust dependence, it also rose back from the face of the face to the sun that day. Although Naruto and him were awkward for a few days, he couldn't hold the trust dependence that he could not fall, and soon recovered. Just when Fengxu thought, the system suddenly came. Black value plus 10. Black value plus. Suddenly began to increase the blackening value. What happened? Turning the field of vision to the outside world, Fengxu saw Naruto, who confronted me with Lua, Temari, and Kong Jiulong. Do I love Luo in Shatin village? Outside, Naruto was in front of the injured Mai Pill, and Tu Luo stood in front of the injured Qin Jilong. Because of too harsh training, Naruto did not need to come to the end as in the original plot. On the contrary, Qin Jilong suffered a loss in his hands. Hey, dark circles, let the black fat man behind you apologize. Naruto pointed his fingers with his fingers, and later was the 3 small Mumin pills that worshipped him. I am the sandstorm, I love Luo, not called dark circles. I love Luo's hands on his chest, with an interested look on his face. Your strength is not bad, it's interesting. What is your name? The praise was good, and Naruto wiped the tip of his nose with his thumbs and proudly. My name is Kyoto Naruto, my hobby is to eat ramen, and the future is a man who will be Naruto. Behind him, the 3 people's faces of my Maru were full of stars. Brother is so handsome, I love so much. Sakura was covered with her face, and she retreated without trace, and wanted to pretend not to know Naruto. I love Luo, Temari, Jiulong. Inexplicably, the 3 felt a little embarrassed, and they might encounter a fool. Just ask a name to say hello. Why did you suddenly report your hobbies and ideals? And the 3 little ghosts in the back, just do the price at them. Actually suffering from this kind of cargo color, you really need to work hard to practice. Temari is too much, such a really shameful expression. Qin Jiulong also tightened the puppet in his hand with a black face, without refuting. The next I love Luo suddenly lost interest in Naruto. He was too lazy to say more, turning and, let's go. Seeing that I love Luo, the 3 ignore him and leave without apology. Naruto directly reached out and pulled the gourd behind Iero. Don't apologize, don't want to leave, let's apologize that black fat man. The precious gourd left by her mother was caught. I love Luo's face suddenly, and the coldness of the coldness was released without any concealment. Qin Jiulong was also frightened by Naruto's behavior, and quickly stopped the voice. I love Luo, calm, don't forget our purpose. Temari also yelled at Naruto, if you don't want to die, just let go. What? Naruto hasn't understood the meaning of several people, but I love Luo's patience to the limit, and the molar bite squeak. Seeing Naruto's intention, he instantly made a tolerated seal in his chest. Then one hand stood in front of the chest, and the other hand raised ahead. Sand binding. Suddenly, the sand-like sand emerged from the gourd, and then quickly covered Naruto. Naruto, who felt the wrong, Naruto hurriedly let go, and wanted to evacuate. But the sand on the ground had already covered his ankle, and pulled him in place. Immediately afterwards, the sand chased in the sky wrapped his entire parcel. Naruto. The changes in this moment made Sakura can't help exclaiming, give me a hand. Sasuke, who was sitting on the tree, also changed his face. While the thousands of bird marks were quickly marked, the body dived down at a very fast speed. For the obstructive words, I love Luoji, and the palm of my hand is also holding in the air. Sand waterfall fair. More sand floated instantly, and then squeezed in it. Just when Naruto's life hangs a line, Fengxu is ready to take over the body. A familiar voice sounded. Bingyan Hall, nothing. Wow. The squeezed sand was pushed away instantly. Even the sand of Naruto's body was instantly turned into ice crystals. Dust and ice dandruff dispersed. With a beautiful cheeks, it appeared in front of Naruto. You're okay, Lord Huang Fa brother. Episode 55. I'm okay, who are you? Naruto loosened the knot's hands and patted the dust stained with his body. Then I looked at the white that turned her head to care, and there was always a familiar feeling. This kind of ninjutsu have we met? Staring at the beautiful face of Bai, Naruto quickly waved his face. It must be my illusion, you will definitely not forget it if you have seen it once. Looking at a pig brother like Naruto, he remembered the majesty and danger of Fengxu. Bai suddenly felt a kind of contrast, which made him cover his mouth and laugh. I'm not a big beauty, but a boy, and we have seen one side, and you look like one of me. Regarding Fengxu and Naruto to share a physical matter, he are no longer the insider. Therefore, when he saw that Naruto was attacked, he was faster than his brain, and immediately ran over to block the attack. Boys. Naruto's shocking eyes almost fell out. The ruddy on the face also turned pale instantly. To be honest, he just thought of the plot of the young man aiming, thinking that his beautiful school sister was coming. But now tells him that the sister has become a senior, and what does love have become fencing? Intersection. In the back, Sasuke and Sakura hurried over. Naruto, have you injured? Sakura asked to Naruto, and the palm of his hand was lit up the blue chakra, ready to help the treatment. Naruto quickly waved his hand and pointed to Bai in front of him. I didn't hurt, he saved me. Looking at the direction of Naruto's fingers, Sakura and Sasuke both felt that the people in front of them were familiar. Especially Sasuke, after seeing the ice wall around, his face was pale instantly. Then he was stopped in front, his face was full of alertness. I remember this ice blood successively, but I didn't expect that you didn't die at that time. The enemy will definitely die, this is the rules summarized by Sasuke in the past few months. And now the white in front of me is not dead, which is enough to explain the terrible strength. Bai did not refute Sasuke, but just smiled softly. Seeing that Naruto blushed for a while, and then turned white immediately, he didn't have time to think about the meaning of Sasuke. Sakura understands it, and the bitterness that pulls out his waist is also a look of a look. Opposite, looking at the intact Naruto in front of him and the white that blocked the attack, both Temari and Kanjuro were unbelievable. Actually blocked my AI Luo sand waterfall. Which village is this tolerance? Why is it so powerful? Obviously it looks similar to us. I also regained calmness, frowning and looking at Bai. A large number of sand in the gourd behind the gourds poured out, and it seemed to be ready to take a shot around the body. You are strong and dangerous, but your ice residue has just splashed on my gourd. Before that, I hadn't had time to do it, and I suddenly appeared around my AI Luo. The shoulder was suddenly put on an arm. Then there was a very light male voice rang. Brother Sand, Furoma Kiki, do you want to understand Hongxing village? With the flying section of the big back, the hippie smiling face bowed his waist, and it was on the side of my AI Luo. Extremely dangerous. The horror atmosphere brought out by the people around me made me love Rose's body. The sand of the whole body also attacked the past immediately, and instantly torn the arms on the shoulders. Hey, don't be so fierce, I'm very painful. The flying section caught the broken arm, and then stepped on the feet, and then retreated to the front of Bai. White, I can't help but propagate the doctrine with them. Can you pretend not to see it later? Don't sue with the evil god? With a bloodthirsty expression on Fei Duan's face, his arm was arbitrarily connected to the wound. The scarlet chakra followed slightly, and the fracture healed quickly. The broken arm is healed directly. This scene stared at everyone around, and took a few steps with horror. The opposite Temari and Kinjilong took out the puppets behind and the huge fan. A pair of alertness to be ready at any time. I don't need to sue the owner, I will know. Bai glanced at Naruto, and then looked at the flying section with a disgusting look. If you don't want to withstand those punishments again, don't forget the owner's instructions. Bai really hates such a cult crazy. If it weren't for the wind, he would have killed him long ago. Of course, it may be killed and maybe I don't take the initiative. I should always be fine at counterattack. Hearing punishment, the flying section also shrunk his neck. The tragic memories of throwing the skull into the dung pit for a day were soaked, and he quickly threw out his mind. Then the March sickle behind the background pointed to my AI Luo, and it was provocative in his mouth. Brother Sand, your gourd is good. It is very suitable for me to use it for a night pot in the future, where you can bear love. Night pot. This remark made my expression of Arrow distorted, and Sand was a riot. The gourd is his mother's relics and curse, and it is also what he is most precious and insulted. That's it, hurry up, you can feel the extreme joy immediately. The flying section was also excited. He hasn't killed people for many days, but now he is very hungry. But when the battle was touched, Maki tied to a headscarf suddenly appeared and stopped in front of my Luo. I love Luo, enough, don't forget the purpose of our trip. Are you ready to disappoint the Master Fengxu again? Makai's words were very useful, and I felt AI Luo calm down in an instant. He glanced deeply at the white and flying section, and then turned his face coldly and disappeared. Temari and Kinjilong also kept up immediately and left here. Maki did not leave immediately, but looked at the flying section in front of him coldly. Tang Ren's cult murderer? What Tang ninja? I'm Red Star Ninja, from Hongxing village. The flying section immediately refuted, and pointed at the nulls of the neck, a large 4 small, 5 stars. A little Ren village, who doesn't know when he died, you should worry about yourself. Makai's face was full of threats. Maybe he will be sent to the gold change tomorrow, becoming the silver too in other people's pockets. If you want to fight with me, don't talk nonsense. Fei Duan was a little impatient. I hope you don't regret it later. After Makai tossed a ruthless words, he turned to disappear in place. Episode 56. Seeing Ma Ji disappeared, the flying section was disappointed on his face, and the March sickle was behind him. Xiang, who has been hiding from the distance, ran over boldly. Don't look at the handsome Sasuke, but stare at Naruto curiously. At the same time, he whispered to Bai, Brother Bai, what is the relationship between him and adults? Why is chakra and the adults exactly the same in my threshold detection? Xiang said that Chakra's own chakra himself. Bai also understood the meaning of Xiangyu, and suddenly covered her mouth. Don't ask if you shouldn't ask. The owner's business is not what we can inquire about. Because Fengxu has explained his identity, therefore, Bai naturally does not explain the relationship with Xiang Yan, but just warns her not to explore. What kind of heart? What is the same? Although the dialogue between the two was very small, Naruto, who often went to the scolding listening, had long trained the hearing, but his attention was not in the dialogue, but he kept staring at the Xiang he was watching. Why do you keep staring at me? Is it? Naruto first had doubts, then suddenly realized and regretted, and finally looked like a determination. I understand your thoughts, but I have a favorite, and she is behind me. So you died, let's not. After speaking, Naruto sighed again and posted the melancholy expression and movements often exposed by Sasuke. It's just that the imitation of Dongshi Shao is a bit uncomfortable. Xiang Yan? Brother Bai, this fool will definitely not have anything to do with the adult, it's me wrong. Xiang Yan quickly retracted his eyes, and then hid behind Bai's body with a disgusting face. Naruto, Sakura's roar came from behind. You are spreading rumors again. I tell you, we are impossible at all, unless you will always become a wind. Always become wind deficiency, virtual. The sound echoed in Naruto's mind, and the whole person was petrified in place. On the other side, Sasuke frowned, and glanced at Sakura coldly. If this is the same thing again, I really hate you very much. Sakura was also stiffened in place, and later realized that he knew that he had said something wrong. Quickly explained towards Naruto. Naruto, I don't mean that, I mean that the wind is better than you. No, I just don't like it. No, I just treat you as a partner. Yes, that's what it means. After getting a series of interpretations of Sakura, Naruto felt even more sad. Bai in front also felt that Naruto was very interesting, and it was hard to think that it would be a horrible monster like the wind in the body. But things have been solved, and he is not ready to continue. We come from the Red Star village of the Poland, and we also come to participate in the United China test exam after that. Take care of it. After laughing, he turned his face and shouted coldly towards the flying section. Don't look, none of these one can be moved, unless you still want to be punished by the owner. In the end, it turned into a smiley face, and shouted in the tenderness of Xiang, let's go. It's time to go to the house arranged by the wood leaf. This set of face-changing operation really shocked everyone. The country of waves? Are you? Suddenly remembered what Naruto just wanted to ask, but the person had disappeared in place. Helpless, he had to look back at Sasuke and Sakura. He didn't wait for him to ask. Sasuke nodded directly to affirm his conjecture. It is the Red Star village built by Cardo, and the guy named Bai, the ice ninja that asked us to die before. It can escape from the wind of Fengxu. His strength is very strong. It is estimated that it will be stronger than that dead. Several people didn't know that they would never die, and they also joined Hongxing village. Sakura also followed the echo. Yes, if he didn't want to kill us at the time, it might be the moment we encountered. Recalling the Qianben needle at that time, Sakura faintly felt that the acupuncture points in the whole body were a little painful. However, after studying for 2 months of medical ninjutsu, she was very clear Bai did this mainly to make false death more realistic. After discussing for a while, the three went to the training ground. Over there, the trinity of Shikamaru in the 10th class has long arrived. Seeing that Naruto and others who had been late for so long, Io took a mouthful, and his face was quite stinky. How did you come so late today? Obviously, we will come early in the morning, but you will not come. After speaking, Jinyu looked at Sasuke with another face. Sasuke, I didn't say you. I was talking about Sakura and Naruto. The salty fish laziness in the original plot was because of training together. Sasuke and Naruto, who were specially worked hard, were a bit unconscious. Of course, the most important thing is Asuma's urging, as well as the statement with their parents. The children of other people's houses have been packed several times by his mother with a broom. Ugly Basai, well, wild pig, you are less framed. We have delayed the other village ninjas who came to participate in the Chinese ninja exam, which was too late. Hearing Sakura's pain, Aino was also instantly bombed. Your abominable white girl. You ugly, ugly monster. With girl. Ugly. Seeing the two of them who were arguing again, the 4 Naruto's 4 were used to stay away from some, and then got together. After Naruto looked around, he asked strangely, hey, even if Mr. Kakashi is late, why didn't teacher Asuma come? They go to the meeting, and welcome the central ninja exam soon. Shikamaru replied with his head holding his head, this exam should register for us after all, our strength has exceeded Zhong and I. Ding Chi, who was eating potato chips, nodded again and again. I also listened to my dad said, and he also thanked Naruto, you drove us to cultivate. Do you know what villages are participating? Sasuke asked suddenly. Shikamaru glanced at Sasuke strangely, but still answered questions. Mainly all villages with good relationship with our wood leaf, namely Sandy, Yuin, Chaoyin, Inin, and Red Star village. Among them, Hongxing village is different, they are the first villages this year, and they are also new villages. It is said that it was allowed to participate in what food seeds as a threat. As soon as Shikamaru finished speaking, there were Asuma's voice behind several people. Shikamaru is good, the people in Hongxing village are unknown, and 2 of them are dangerous, you must be careful. Speaking, Asuma and Kakashi fell in front of everyone. By the way, I and Kakashi signed up for the CDB test together, let's fill in the application. Episode 57, Outside Koba Hospital. After doing 1 day of work, the pharmacist was walking in the direction of home. Just half of him, he stopped suddenly. After observing no one around, turn around and walk behind the sidewalk tree by the road. Lord Snake 1. With a respectful face towards the tree, he was leaning down on the trunk. How about the collection of information about Sasuke and Naruto? There are also Tuanzang. Are you contacted him now? Dash 1 held his chest with both hands, although his face with a smile, it made people feel the slightest warmth. Instead, it is more like watching the predators in a certain shadow. 2 months ago, the base that I often contacted with Tuanzang was destroyed, and there was no news afterwards. During the speaking, he took a scroll from his arms and passed it over. I have recorded the growth of Sasuke and the information of the pillar power, I have recorded it here. Dash 1 took the scroll, and licked his lips with his tongue excitedly, making hissing sound. You did very well. During the praise, the scroll was opened and checked by Dash 1. 2 hooked jade riding wheel eyes, and also learned Kakashi's A-level ninjutsu, Thunderbolt thousands of birds? It is worthy of Itachi's brother, it really is the same genius. According to this speed of progress, it seems that the prepared transition container should not be used, hee. The big snake pills that made a woman-like laughter soon were quickly interrupted by Naruto's information. His face suddenly became puzzled and shocked. I have mastered Jodi chakra, and killed elites such as the oil girl to take the roots, and no more. No wonder 3 months ago, the old things in Tuanzang would suddenly find me to seal the sealing technique of nine-tailed chakra. According to the current information, this old guy must have failed, and he encountered revenge, hee. It is precisely because Tuanzang is looking for a sealing surgery that he will be curious. Let Dakian collect with Naruto's intelligence. In fact, Dash1 and Tuanzang have always been in contact and cooperation. Even his research funding group has been hidden a lot. Of course, his small part of the physical research also made the Tuanzang and made the Tuanzang feel worth it. Seeing that Maru looked shocked, the pocket on the side was like a desire. After struggling for a moment, I interrupted the laughter of Dash1, pushing the glasses on the bridge of the nose and said, Master Dasamaru, the information village of human pillars is very strict. These are just surface information I have testified. There are some of the things that I have happened in the village without the speculation that has not been confirmed. Dash1 is very recognized for the talent of pockets. Although it is not confirmed, it must have been inquired about the results of integrated investigations. Even if it is different from the truth, the difference is definitely not much. So Dash1 nodded very interested. Talk about it. He didn't sell Guanzi, and said directly, Naruto should be perfect pillar power, mastering and using most of the strength of nine-tailed without control. The base in the death forest of Tuanzang is due to the destroyed by his ninjutsu with his tail beast. I went to see it in person, just like the chakra left after the battle of the country of Bashi's country. And even the destruction of the group Tibetan base is even more scary. Master most of the nine-tailed power? The pupils in the eyes of Maru were shocked, a little scattered. Then he narrowed his eyes, with a dangerous look on his face. Are you sure? Not sure, because the village blocked the news very dead, I couldn't inquire. He shook his head decisively, and he said that it was only based on the existing information. However, the fiscal in the village has begun to fund the route, and the Tibetan also restores positions. This looks like a kind of comfort and compensation caused by destroy Naruto. Handu has been analyzed so clearly, and Dash1 almost believes that most of them have been believed. You continue to stare at Sasuke, and look for the group to pick up with him. As for Naruto, I will take a look in person, and by the way, the group has not done anything. After ordering, Dash1 disappeared in place. For perfect Manju, Dash1 has sneaked into Yunin village for research. Although it is very powerful, it is not what he reincarnates many times. Therefore, Uchiha's blood, which is still as powerful as Itachi, attracts him. Of course, Naruto's threat must also find a way to eliminate or curb. Otherwise, the wood leaf collapsed, and the plan to support the upper support of the group may fail due to this uncertain factors. The next day, the people who finished the application came to the registration point for submission. In consciousness, clear the wind of the later plot, the sound sounded directly in Naruto's mind. Naruto, give me the body. The first is the written test, so I will test it. Because it is necessary to get close to Mattai for a lot of time, the system can analyze the ability to obtain the object. Therefore, Fengxu intends to take the body's control directly by helping the test. The first exam is written. Naruto, who was walking on the road, was distorted and deformed by the sudden appearance of the wind. Sasuke on the side was a strange look at Naruto. Yes, the first game is written test. Didn't you read the test introduction on the registration form? Naruto, he can express himself with excitement. YY uses the hard-working wind to kill his opponent. The contents of these words are not the novel of the young aiming. Hurry up, let's change it. I know that Fengxu is the best. After looking at the registration form on the hand, Naruto couldn't wait to exchange control with Fengxu. The name of his idiot crane was not taken by Sasuke with a blank. The end of the crane is about the strength of ninjutsu. The idiot is talking about theoretical knowledge. Sakura, who knows Naruto's situation, exposed a proud expression that finally waited until the performance moment. Rest assured, Naruto, then you sit next to us, and then secretly look at our test paper. After all, when Sasuke and I were at the ninja school, all the theoretical exams were among the best. It's just that her words were just finished, and Naruto, who was funny in front of her, changed her look of indifferent and sharp eyes. The temperature around was also after the wind came out, and suddenly it dropped a lot. No, just come from me. After taking over the body's wind, he quickly dispersed the indifference and smiled. Then loosened the forehead on the forehead and let it collapse to the neck. Then the palm attached to chakra, and wiped the scattered hair at the back at will, leaving only the two sideways shattered hair. Finally, I raised my feet directly into the ninja school ahead. Why did Naruto make Fengxu come out again? Looking at Fengxu's behavior, Sasuke frowned, but in the end, I didn't say anything, followed by walking in. Sakura in the back was rosy and smirked on his face. Obviously, the cold temperament of the wind is fascinated with the same glue hand with the same blue dye. It took a long time to respond, and couldn't help whispering, help. Obviously a person, why will it become so handsome back and forth? Episode 58. Set into the teaching building at the registration point. The three people of Fengxu quickly went to the second floor. As soon as I came up, the three heard a very loud sound of the ground. Alas, I saw Xiaoli, who was wearing a green tight suit and wanted to hide her strength, and sat on the ground with a blue face. In front of him, the two were two special forbearances that turned into teenagers, Shinue Izumo and Steel Iron. The so-called special forbearance means that a certain aspect is very prominent, but the comprehensive strength is slightly weaker than the upper forbearance, but it is stronger than the middle level of the elite. Looking at Xiaoli, who fell to the ground, the gods of the two gods of might sang and taunt the steel. Hey, no, right, why did you fall down without hardening? As weak as you, go home early and rush into your parents' arms, please comfort them. Ha ha ha. The arrogant laughter of the two attracted the people around them very unhappy, but when the strength of the two was just shot, no one dared to make the head a head bird. Little Lee was tied to the day of the ball head, and sighed when he saw this. Playing a pitiful look approached the past, and Nua whispered, "Let's go in, please." Snapped. Before talking about it every day, he was thrown on his face by the steel iron. Don't seduce labor, women will only affect the speed of labor and management. On the side, Shinue Izumo also nodded again, and I was like a bad guy, but soon reacted, turned his head in horror, and took a step back with his buttocks. Aware of the movement of Shinue Izumo, the steel iron also found the ambiguity in the words, and yelled and explained, "Bastard, it's not what you want." After scolding Shinue Izumo, the eyes of other ninjas around me made the steel iron. Even the strong we have not passed the Zhong ninja exam 3 times, based on your soft-footed shrimp, go back to wash and sleep. The mission of Zhongren is not a family, you can't bear the failure, or death. To be honest, Gongzi Iron didn't want to be so thin, but there are so many people around him, and no one can see through the shallow illusion he exerted. There is no need to participate in the examination waste of this extent. That's right, but we. After being reprimanded, the surrounding ninjas did not even dare to say loudly. In the distance, the three people from the staircase mouth also came to the door of the 301 signs. Especially the wind-headed wind deficiency, which is different from other people's dress, suddenly aroused discussion. This yellow hair is so arrogant. That's right, the protection of the amount is not good, the hairstyle is still so dragged, it must not be beaten. It seems to be our ninja, why haven't you seen it before, have you a newcomer? The newcomer dares to be so arrogant, don't remind him, let him be stunned by those two blocking doors. Holding his head, a group of ninjas gave the three people away. Sakura, who wanted to approach, but was afraid, couldn't help but refute. Where is arrogant, you are clearly jealous of two handsome guys in our team. Without waiting for the people around scolding back, she hurriedly reminded Fengxi's ear. It's an illusion, this is actually the second floor. Well, have you discovered it? A glance appeared on the steel iron face. It seems that the candidates this year are not all waste, but, you can see through the fantasy. What about people? The steel iron, who had just wanted to make a shot, hadn't finished speaking, but found that the wind in front of me had disappeared. On the side, Shinue Izumo was also shocked, stretched out his finger behind the steel. He has passed. Behind the two, the 301 single open door formed by the fantasy was broken, restoring the original 201 double gate door, and Fengxu still maintained the pace of walking, waving his back, facing a few people. You can solve the two quickly, don't waste time. Damn, it is actually an illusion. Seeing the changes in the scene, the surrounding ninja reacted by the reactions. The steel iron on the other side is unbelievable. So amazing momentum. Naruto, of course, he knew the 9-tailed people who were having a dog. But who can tell him, why can this be so strong for more than 3 months of graduating from school? Intersection. Because the level is not enough, the two are unclear what happened to Naruto at all. Seeing that the wind is so big, Sasuke does not want to fall behind. After all, he was originally clear, reigning, and working again. Moreover, the current strength is stronger and more arrogant than in the original work, and even more looked down on these references. Roll away, otherwise it will be slaughtered. During the talk, Sasuke strode into the middle of the two, ready to cross directly. The steel iron that reflected from the shock was also caused by this unsatisfactory words. Turning around, his waist was pushing, driving his right foot like a whip. I want to see, are your strength so hard? Sasuke was also polite to lift his feet and block, and at the same time, the tolerated seal was knotted in his hand. But at the moment of fighting, a green figure blocked the two in front of the two, holding the ankles of Sasuke and steel iron with one hand. After seeing this scene, Ningxi frowned. As soon as I wanted to speak, I saw Sasuke, who was held by Xiaoli's ankle, and disappeared. Sakura beside him also drifted slowly like a bubble and disappeared in place. Immediately after Ningxi looked at the door of the rear 201, he saw the back of Sasuke and Sakura's departure. Shadow the body. And the girl around him, it is actually an illusion. These three people are really not easy, so they can't underestimate anyone. Ningxi just focused on Sasuke, but did not notice the illusion of Sakura. Steel Iron was also aware of it, and he scratched his head with some depression. There are so many monsters in this session, how many are these? Shinue Izumo also shook his head, ignoring the question of the steel iron. Instead, let the people open the body, forget it, you will go through the application for submitting the application, let's go. When he heard himself pass, all candidates were overjoyed. Suddenly I couldn't help but grateful to the three people, and completely forgot to have their ugly face before. Let's go. Tu Ningxi and Tian greeted Xiaoli, who was still in a daze. But Xiaoli turned his head and glanced at the three people who went away, and said back, let's go first, I have some things to do. After speaking, he didn't wait for the reply of Ningji, and left the Sakura directly to chase in front of him. As Xiaoli just ran out of the passage, he found that the three people stopped in the lobby below, as if waiting for someone. But before he asked him, Fengxu said, let Matt Kai come out, do it with me, you are not qualified enough. Episode 59. Do you know Teacher Kai? And how do you know I want to challenge you? Xiaoli was full of doubts, and the thick eyebrows on his eyes were crowded together, but he couldn't understand. He quickly gave up thinking. The aisle jumped down from the second floor and fell into the lobby below. Wait for me first, I have to do one more thing before playing. Speaking, Xiaoli twisted in front of Sakura with a very enchanting gesture. Compared with a thumb with your hands, he smiled with confidence, and put an electric eye. Sakura, please associate with me. I will swear to protect you. Sakura? Wow, don't, absolutely don't. Your expression is too greasy, and I can't accept your eyebrows. No, not only eyebrows, but also your drooping eyelashes, bright watermelon heads, don't, absolutely don't. The more you say, the more you feel the uncomfortable Sakura, and the back of the stomach is bent with his waist. Then he quickly turned his head, and looked at the wind and Sasuke on the side, as if the handsomeness of the two people was used to achieve the effect of eye-washing. The rejected Xiaoli was not discouraged at all. Instead, he looked at the wind and Sasuke next to him. Put your bandaged hand and erected your palms upwards. I understand, you must have rejected me because of them. If I lay all of them down, please agree with my contact request. Xiaoli's self-words made Sakura very annoyed. While using his arms to yell on the chest with your arms, he roared angrily. Hey, please let you listen to the words. We are impossible, this life is impossible, okay? Xiaoli nodded solemnly. I know, I will definitely defeat them, and then associate with you. Naruto in the consciousness is also a madness of anger at this moment. Wind, please, you must have a thick eyebrow. Sakura is mine, never let him win away. Naruto's noise in his mind did not affect the wind. He shook his head and was about to step forward. Sasuke on the side suddenly took the lead, and his face was full of eager to try. He is not worth your shot, let's handle it to me. With his strength, it can be used to detect my cultivation situation. Seeing Sasuke wants to fight with himself first, Xiaoli's expression is very serious. Is the first opponent who is known as the genius family Uchiha? But it's just right, defeat you who are weak, and then challenge the little brother behind you. Small me? Sasuke's face was full of shame, and his eyes were brought out of his eyes. He just thought about what he came forward, but behind him, he rose to make him creepy. Come back, Sasuke, I don't want to waste time. Without a chance to reject Sasuke, Fengxu had instantly appeared in front of Xiaoli. It seems that you still have to beat you first to let Mitkai come out. So fast. Xiaoli first stunned, and then quickly reacted. On physical skills, I won't lose to any peers. While shouting, Xiaoli suddenly jumped up and spin. The waist and limbs were twisted, driving the right leg sweeping up, making a whistling sound. Wooden leaves. Before Xiaoli's move was finished, he was covered by a loud noise of the body hit the floor. Well, I saw Xiaoli, who was originally attacked by legs, was stuck on the floor with a strong stretch. The shockwood flooring was cracked, exposing the sharp wooden thorns. Directly killed, the wind is still so powerful and so handsome. Seeing Xiaoli, who hadn't been breathing on the ground for a long time, Sakura had a sense of joy. Can't help but shout like an idiot in place. Sasuke on the side clenched his fist on his face and unwilling. Abominable, I have worked hard for 2 months, and I couldn't even see the action without riding the wheel eyes. For the spike Xiaoli, there is no slightest fluctuation in the heart. Instead, look around the hall, using the malicious perception of Jiuwei chakra. Unfortunately, Matkai was not malicious to him, and the wind did not know if Mitter was hiding from voyeur. On the floor, Xiaoli, who perceived the severe pain in the abdomen, barely climbed up. After holding my stomach for a while, I looked up at Fengxu. You are very strong, but I won't give up Sakura, so I will use my strength. Please be careful. In his efforts, Xiaoli unlocked the weight tied to his hands and feet and threw them on the ground. Boom! With the weight of horror weight, as soon as it came into contact with the wooden floor, it smashed a large pit and made a loud noise. The stretching smoke and wood chips cover the surrounding vision mostly. Actually wearing such a heavy load, is this thick eyebrow a monster? Sakura exclaimed. Sasuke also frowned, and immediately turned on the eyes. Sure enough, as he expected, Xiaoli in the smoke disappeared suddenly at a very fast speed. Next second, he appeared in front of Fengxian's feet, squatting suddenly, and sweeping a back kick with one leg. My lie alas. The huge impact sounded again. The plot is still very different from the previous. Xiaoli was smashed on the ground with a lightly described. It's just that on his head this time, there was an extra foot. It's another spike. Sasuke, who was barely seen with the eyes of writing, was shocked. Xiaoli's physical strength now has exceeded him, but in the hands of Fengxu, I still can't go, and the strength is not at all. When he played with Kakashi before, he could fight back. No, I haven't lost yet, I still have a secret. The stepped Shaoli struggled to get up, trying to fight for love to the end. You can watch the blackening value that is no longer growing on the system panel. Raise his head and shouted towards the empty space around. Matkai, come out, let me see how powerful my close friends and opponents in Kakashiku. Quiet. Mitter, hiding behind the corridor, did not answer. Although he wanted to go out and admit that he was Kakashi's close friends and opponents. But remembering the commands that could not provoke pillar power, and Kakashi told him the danger of wind deficiency, Mattai finally chose to pretend to be a turtle, so as not to have many things. However, he obviously didn't understand the taboo of the wind. Seeing that Matkai refused to come out, Fengxu directly raised his feet and aimed at Shaoli's right leg. Use the voice that everyone can hear. I don't know if you have abolished a leg, can you continue to cultivate? Alas, boom. The smoke fluttered and the debris splashed. The feet dropped by the wind were smashed on the wooden floor. Not far away, Shaoli was rescued with the same shape, and held it in his hands. Mattai put Shaoli on the psychic beast turtle aside, placed the thumb in the wind, showing a shiny teeth. Really? You are really as young as Kakashi said, and the edge is scary. Episode 60. Although Kei took the third class, it was only recently completed the task. But about Naruto, Kakashi still gave him some bottom. Of course, Kakashi naturally does not say multiple personality, violating the order of the ape flying sun to cut confidentiality. It is just that Naruto has mastered the power of 9 tails, making her character change, and she is arrogant. Be careful when you encounter it. How far is it to run? I think this dangerous and troublesome quagmire is not simply that he can be involved in. Reminds the danger of being punished by ape flying sun. It can be seen that Kei is a little worse than OB soil in the heart of Kakashi. Teacher Kai. Seeing Kai suddenly rescued himself, Shaoli showed a look of guilt and crying. I haven't lost yet. I still have the secrets of Teacher Kai. Shaoli, exposed the trick before the test, what do you understand? Kai interrupted Shaoli's words and beckoned him to signal him. Standing up well, Shaoli came to Kai's body and bowed his head to apologize. I am sorry, Teacher Kai, I will bother you. Don't talk about trouble, you stupid. Kai stunned with tears on Shaoli's face. Shaoli also covered his red face with tears. Teacher Kai, Shaoli. Don't say anything, teacher, I understand you. Kai hugged Shaoli on his knees, and his tears were like spring. Shaoli also stared at the same tears and hugged Kai tightly. Teacher, Shaoli, woohoo. This touching scene made Sasuke and Sakura's tears spit out from his mouth. 2 times thick eyebrows, double nausea. I feel that my eyes are going to be blind. Sasuke also nodded for the first time and nodded. Sure enough, people have quirks. Kakashi likes to watch Uncle Shao, Fengxu likes torture the enemy, Asma likes to smoke and hot, and this Mitkai in front of me likes to be disgusting in public. The wind in front was rubbing his eyes vigorously, as if wiping something that entered the eyes. Later, looking at the floor of Matkai's feet, Jinhong's 9-tailed chakra broke out. Since you are willing to come out, don't talk nonsense. Take a shot, let me see the legendary physical surgery script, the 8-door armor. Looking at the proud stand in the distance, the 9 huge fox tails behind the sky covered the sky. Kai wiped his tears, his expression quickly became serious. He pushed away and hugged Shaoli, who was still hugging himself, and jumped to the front. Is the power of the 9-tailed demon fox? Sure enough, as Kakashi said, even more than a lot. The power is just like 12 years ago. Kei's expression was very serious and pleased. I didn't expect the ideas of the 4 generations of adults to succeed. We can really master this power. 12 years ago, Kai had a look at 9 tails. The long-lost pressure and fear made his hands and feet unknowingly began to tremble. Of course, this is not afraid, but the body's tension about fighting soon. Next second, alas, wooden leaves gongli whirlwind. Kai took the lead, rushed to the wind in front of the wind with the sound of breaking the air, and then turned the volley and brought out a steel whip-like kick. Boom! Fengxu stood in place without movement, and the fox tail behind him blocked Kai's whip leg with only one. So strong. Kai felt like he was playing with a steel bar. No, even his feet can kick a depression, but kicking on this chakra fox tail, he couldn't even retreat. Click! The thumb pressed the joint friction of the middle finger. This is the prelude to the excitement of wind deficiency, and it also means that he is serious. I won't keep my hand again. If you don't open the 8 gates, you will die. The moment the word is landed, the whole person disappears slowly as if blur. It is the shadow left by the movement too fast. Kai did not expect that Feng Xian's physical technique would be so strong. This speed did not work hard for many years. On top, suddenly looked up, and saw the wind jumping in the air, and the 9 fox tails together, forming a big hammer, wrapped in the strong wind, smashed down with extremely terrifying power. Without hesitation, Kai, who tightened his fist, was instantly tight and swollen. A lot of flame, like blue-green chakra came out. Immediately, the sound of the full lingering sound sounded throughout the lobby. The 4th door of the 8 doors, hurt the door, open. In a short time, the horrible power emerged from Kai's whole body. The fragments on the surrounding ground shake the empty. At the same time, the foxtail that covered the sky on the top also came to the top of Kai's head. When it was about to touch, Kai finally moved. I saw his body squat slightly, and stepped into the floor fiercely as a pillar. Afterwards, the fist hit a serial punch at a speed that was difficult to reach with the naked eye. Forbidden Lilian Hua. The ultra-high-speed punch that breaks through the speed of sound, from a distance, is like how many hundred arms are growing next to Kai's shoulders. These arms are like arrows, wrapped in sharp strength, all hitting the tail of the fox tail under the top. Boom, 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 boom. The fierce fight sounds the hall. All the wooden floors under Kai's feet are cracking. The spider web, like fine cracks, quickly extend to the entire hall and even the wall. At the same time, the wind pressure generated by the fist and fox tail impact also swept to the audience instantly. The broken wood chips and the generated smoke and dust flew out by the wind pressure. Sakura, Sasuke, and Shaoli, who couldn't open his eyes in the distance, scratched bloodstains. Too strong. The three people scratched by Yubo quickly retreated to the wall of the hall. Sasuke is pale and ugly, and it is even more unable to calm down. I can't even watch this level of battle. The man who can kill the whole family must only be strong or not, so I can't get revenge at all. Alas. In the distance, with the last punch of Kai, a burst of visible air waves spread from the side of the hand. The wind deficiency above cannot be pressed down with the tail, and standing down to the ground steadily. You are very strong, but only one shot makes me have to open 4 doors to reluctantly resist. Radio Green Chakra, her redness of Kai, laughed on her face, appeared to be admirable. It was just a trembling hand behind him, indicating that Kai was not as easy as he said. Ha ha ha. Although I still want to fight with you, the building here can't hold it. Powerful teenagers, even if you win today, we are 0-1, I will find you to try again next time. Call out. After speaking, Kai did not give Fengxu a chance. At a very fast speed, Shaoli, holding one side, rushed out of the hall. Looking at the system panel, the marked Kai can be redeemed. Fengxu also dispersed 9-tailed chakra, and did not plan to chase out. But soon, Fengxu understood why Kai escaped. Destroy public facilities, please pay for a fine.